All right, hello. Okay, so welcome to this first live streaming session, which is open to Colombia, Ecuador, Guatemala, and so many countries in Central America, as well as different cities in Colombia. I have just started this live streaming session so that we can give students and teachers and everyone who is willing to join us today a little more time, and so that they can arrange everything at home so that they can see this. Okay, we are impressed. 63 students are watching. Okay. Excuse me for coughing. 71 students. Oh my goodness. 86 students. This is impressive. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so I'm going to go to the chat. Let me see if everything is working. So give me just 10 seconds and I will be back right now. So I'm going to see if the chat is working and I'm going to post the link on Facebook. Hello, Carol Rodriguez. Hello, Dayana. Hello, Evelyn Torres. So there are 127 people watching, and we have 100 subscribers. That is impressive. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to post the link on Facebook so that everybody can join. Just 10 more seconds, and then we start. I'm going to post it also on our fan page. If you don't follow us on Facebook yet, you can follow us on our fan page on Facebook, Bethlemitas, Proyecto Aprendizaje de Lenguas, and you are going to be tuned with all of the news and all of the things that we have to share for you. All right, so join us now. Okay, so I'm going to go to the chat. Let me see who is around. Gabby Gonzalez says, hola. Okay, so let me remind you that this is an English speaking session. So the idea is that everything that you write is in English, all right? So please, Romina, Melanie, Evelyn, everybody who is speaking in Spanish, please stop and start writing in English from now on. Thank you so much for doing so. All right, so I would like to say hello to Yulin, Romina, Adriana, Micaela, everybody who is talking on the chat, but please do it in English. And we are going to give students and everyone who is invited to this live streaming session, we are going to give them, what about 5 minutes? Does it sound okay? All right, Ecuador is present. Thank you so much. Madeleine Albarracin, is that the way I pronounce it? Okay, so Ecuador is present. Awesome. Daniela, don't worry, take it easy. It doesn't matter if it takes a little time to understand English. Just pay attention, focus, and you will see how better it gets. All right, so I would like to know, and we would like to know from this project, where are you watching us from? What country, and also what city? So Dayana is from Ecuador. Andrea, where are you from? Okay, let's give you a little more minutes. Let's see where you are from. So I was told, and we were told, that there are some students who are watching from Ibarra, Ecuador. That is awesome. So let us send a special greeting and a special hug to teacher Sami. Thank you so much for your support, your enthusiasm, and everything you do for your students, for yourself, for your school, and for us, and for everyone. Thank you so much. All right, so there are 213 students watching right now. So I think we need to start right now. Please, please don't don't write in Spanish. The idea is that you practice your written English in the chat. All right. So please, if you are going to comment or to say anything in the chat, please do it in English. All right. So good, Mildred. Very well done, Mildred. Hi. Okay. So before starting, let us know where you are from. So Micaela is from Bethlemitas Latacunga, so that means Unidad Educativa Sagrado Corazón de Jesús, like Sacred Heart of Jesus. That's the way you can say it in English. And this school is in Latacunga, Ecuador. So let us say hi to students in Ecuador. All right. Where else are you from? We saw Ibarra, Latacunga. Who else? Who else is around? Are there any students from Guatemala? Or maybe any students from El Salvador, Costa Rica maybe? Hello, Daniel Osejos. Where are you from? Hello, Johanna. Where are you from? Gladys, Cocoango. All right. Since you don't tell us where you are from, so we are going to start with this session right now. So we are going to share our screen. Oops. It is there. And I think you can see it right now. So welcome to this session. Today is Thursday, March 23rd, 2017, and this is our YouTube channel. This is a YouTube channel that is open for you. What is the idea? In these live streaming sessions, we want you to practice your listening skills, your writing skills, and we want to give you tips about how to learn English better, how to build confidence in English, and so many wonderful things that we want to tell you about learning English. Why? You might be wondering why. That is because nowadays it is not a secret, but English is very, very important. And not only English, also languages, even Spanish. So you can feel yourself very lucky because Spanish is your mother tongue and so many people are learning Spanish as a foreign language. All right, so what is the idea? This is your channel, this is our channel, this is everyone's channel. This is going to be available whenever we have time, whenever we have the chance to create these sessions and to also stream these sessions. All right, so this is the name of our channel. It is called CLIL EFL Bethlemitas. Thank you if you have subscribed to our YouTube channel, and thank you if you haven't subscribed, because if you haven't subscribed yet, you are going to do it right now. Thank you so much. So this is a special greeting to everyone because today is our first live streaming session open to students in Guatemala, El Salvador, Panama, Costa Rica, Colombia, and Ecuador. I think we haven't forgotten any countries. And what is the idea? The idea is that you can enjoy these sessions in English in order to learn not only English, but also about any topic in English, and so that you can practice a little bit more, and so that you use your time freely, so that you use your time wisely. That is the idea. Because this is the idea of YouTube. Many people nowadays watch YouTube, but do you watch YouTube or do you spend time on YouTube by learning English? You can do it, and we are going to give you a hand on that. So this is a special greeting and a special hi to students in Ahuachapán, in Cartago, in Antigua, Guatemala, in Quetzaltenango, Quiche, Sololá, Panama City. Also, if there are students in Chinandega, Jinotega, and Managua who might be watching us, we also send you a big hug. In Colombia, we would like to say hi to students in Medellin, Bello, Palmira, Popayán, Pereira, Armenia, Bucaramanga, Barranca Bermeja, Pasto, Pamplona, and Bogotá. As you can see, there are several schools, Bethlemite schools, in Colombia, and you have so many brothers and so many sisters all around Latin America. In Ecuador, we want to say hi to students in Ibarra, Quito, Latacunga, and Tulcan. Today, our session is about pronunciation tips. Before officially starting and after having sent a greeting to everyone in Latin America, I'm going to check, or we are going to check, that everything is working correctly. Yes, it is working correctly. Wow, wow, wow. 257 people watching. Thank you so much. All right, the first tip is listen to English. So we are going to give you so many pronunciation tips and so many secrets for you to develop English skills. So many people and so many teachers and so many people nowadays think that pronunciation in English is difficult, and it is not. It is nothing. I mean, it is not the end of the world. What is the idea? The idea is that we listen to ourselves and that we listen to each other. So the first tip for you to have a better pronunciation in English is to listen to English. But Miguel, that is obvious. Well, usually there are so many obvious things that we don't do and that we should. So what is the idea? That we do them. So listen to English quite often. Sometimes we listen only to our teachers, we listen only to TV news, probably once a month, and that is not enough. We have an excellent tip for you. If you take only 10 minutes from your day, whether it is in the morning or in the afternoon or in the evening, that doesn't matter. If you only take 10 minutes a day, you can develop good listening skills, and not only that, you start like interiorizing the language, and it becomes more and more natural to not only speak it, but also live the language, and that is the idea. So if you start listening to English quite often, you will see the results. Take only 10 minutes a day. I mean, do it as a routine. You will see the results. And nowadays, we are so lucky because on YouTube, on Vimeo, on social networks, on TV, on the radio, I mean, there are so many sources. There are so many sources that that can give us a lot of input in English, and that is the idea. So nowadays, you can feel very lucky because we have more sources than we did before. And that is very important and very valuable. So what is the purpose with listening to English every day? The purpose is that you get in contact with the language. So as we said before, you can listen to the radio, but in English. You can watch a lot of TV, but in English. Also, we have a tip for you. You can watch TV in English, but use English subtitles. That is also very helpful, because you read what you are also hearing, and that is a good connection, what you see and what you hear. So your brain is more able to process information. So if you watch TV in English and you also read subtitles in English, that is very helpful. TV news, okay, that is also very interesting and also very relevant. Why? Because news, since they talk about very important issues, situations, and matters about the world, they use very realistic language. So TV news are a very interesting source of vocabulary. If you watch a lot of news, well, nowadays news are very tragic, but they give a lot of important vocabulary. They give you very real-world vocabulary that you can need for your English learning. Music. This is the most enjoyable source of language that we can get in contact with. Why? We have so many different songs. There are so many songs that we like, that we love, and when we get hooked, when we get engaged in the song, then we start developing vocabulary. We also start developing understanding about the message of the song. We say, hey, I don't understand that word. I don't understand that word, but what does it mean? That is the idea. Through music, there is a lot of English that we can learn, not only by words, not only through words, but also through the content of the song, and that means the message of the song itself. And a very valuable source of English that we have every single day is your teacher. So please benefit from your teacher, whether it is him or her. There are so many different words that you can learn from her or him. So the purpose beyond these pronunciation tips is that you will know how to speak when you have heard somebody speaking. If you have good examples of people who use a wide range of vocabulary, then you will know when and how to use those words. So that is the idea, that you expand your possibilities and also your vocabulary range. So that was tip number 1. Before we move on to our tip number 2, I'd like to know if you have any questions, if you would like to make a comment, but please do it in English. So I'm going to go back to the chat. Okay, Antichrist, Superstar, please don't be rude in this chat. This is a Bethlemite live streaming session, so if you keep on using rude language, I will find you and I will find your school. And I will make sure that you don't do that anymore. Teficar, thank you for the translation. Please don't do that. Please let your students, let your classmates make an effort about what we are talking and what we are saying here. So don't translate. Hello, Carolina from Belgium. Oh, Carolina was in the Bethlemite English camp. Thank you so much. It's so good to see you here. Thank you so much. It is so lovely to hear about you. Is anybody else from Belgium in here? Is anybody else from other Bethlemite schools here? All right, I think we can continue. All right, tip number 2 is take it easy. Take your time. Why? Sometimes we are very hard on ourselves. Sometimes we want things right now, right away. And we want to be speaking English very fluently in like a month, in like 3 weeks. And there is not a hurry. I mean, when there are so many wonderful things to happen, we just need to give them time. If we act under pressure, if we put pressure on these kind of goals, then it becomes more and more difficult. So please take it easy. Take your time to pronounce well. Take your time to build confidence in the language, because that is the idea. You don't need to speak English perfectly from one day to another. You just need to live the experience and enjoy it. So we also want to say that it is not a matter of how fast people speak. Why do we say that? Because sometimes there are so many people who say that people who speak fluently are people who probably speak fast. And speaking fast just means that that person speaks fast. It doesn't mean that that person is more fluent or more intelligent or anything. It is just a matter of communicative styles. So everybody speaks differently. Speaking fast doesn't mean more perfect. Speaking fast just means speaking fast. There are so many people who speak a little more slowly, and they just take their time to think. I mean, there are so many benefits. For example, when you speak fast, you need to think, you need to also think fast and also to engage the person that you are talking to. That is also quite a challenge. When people speak a little more slowly, they need to, they have more time to reflect and more time to have clear ideas, but probably the person with whom they are interacting gets a little bit bored. So it is not a matter of how fast. Take the time to understand sounds. So for example, when you are listening to the radio, TV, or even your teacher, just pay attention. Pay attention on how that person pronounces, on how that TV show presenter pronounces. Pay attention to how that actress or actor pronounces. Why? Because when we don't worry too much, our brain absorbs and understands more easily. So this is why we need to be chill. We need to relax. And the most important objective, or the most important thing, is that we enjoy. That is the idea, to enjoy the learning of English. When we enjoy, we learn more. Okay, I'm going to stop right now a little bit just so that you can see me. Uh, okay, this is a big message and also a very important reflection for you to think about. So many of you are saying that you don't understand what I am saying, or that it is very difficult to understand every single word that I am saying. What is the idea? Just open your mind. I'm going to start speaking a little more slowly, but please don't focus on that you don't understand. Because if you say, I don't understand, then you don't understand. So don't block your mind. Just go with the flow. I mean, just listen to me, listen to everyone, write in English, and live the language here on YouTube. Isn't it awesome? It is awesome. An awesome tool that we can benefit from. If you don't understand if you don't understand every single word, try to get the message, the big message, the big image. All right, and then everything will get everything will get easier. All right, so let's go back to our session. All right, so we are back. This is tip number 3. Record and listen to yourself. Nowadays we have so many gadgets, so many cell phones, so many cameras. I mean, there are so many devices with which we can record ourselves. What is the idea? You can take your phone one day and say, okay, I'm going to record myself. So some people are very hard on themselves and they say, oh, but my voice is so ugly, or no, not ugly, but my voice is terrible. And they get embarrassed. I mean, your voice is just your voice. It is beautiful because everyone's voice is beautiful. So don't be shy, don't be afraid. Just break the ice. Break through. Break through. All right. And if you record yourself and if you start listening a little bit more to yourself, you will see and you will realize what aspects you need a little bit more efforts on. So you record yourself and you say, probably the R sound doesn't sound very English, doesn't sound a lot like English, and then you can start working a little bit more on that sound. So record yourself. It's a good idea. We also recommend that you use it when you feel comfortable, not judged. Because if you record yourself, but then you show it to somebody else, nowadays people's comments are so hard, and that's not the idea. The idea is that you are kind to yourselves. So when you record yourself, if you decide to use this tip, please do it when you are alone, or do it with somebody with whom you feel comfortable. And if you do that, you will be using smartphones in a wise way. Tip number 4, choose iconic people. Imitate their speaking. So nowadays, probably you have an idol, you have a favorite singer, favorite actor, favorite actress, and there are so many people that speak in English that you say, oh my goodness, I wish I spoke like him or her. And that's the idea. If you find somebody that inspires you, good English speaking skills, then you can try to imitate that person. For example, um, I have a favorite singer, and his name is Mark Hudson. He sings a little bit of rock, and when he gives interviews, his voice and the words that he uses are very, very nice. I actually admire him a lot. And since I admire him, I have adopted some words that he uses and his communicative style. I mean, I love that I love that singer. So choose iconic people and imitate how they speak, whether it's an actress, an actor, a singer, or just a famous person, or probably a TV presenter. Why not on the news? Also, YouTube is a very good channel because you can find so many people and so many videos on YouTube. And if you look for interviews of your favorite people, you will see how they speak, and therefore you can imitate how they speak. All right? So do it. If you want to hear my experience, I did it myself. I looked for so many interviews of my favorite singers in English, and I just enjoyed them. I was like, oh my God, I wish I spoke like him or her, and then the wish becomes true. Your desire, your wishes come true. Pronunciation tip number 5. Visualize and picture your mouth and muscles. So as you can see, we have a kid here, and she is thinking about a mouth. What does that mean? That whenever she hears a word, she visualizes in her mind what her mouth feels, what her mouth does, everything that is happening with her teeth and tongue. So visualize what happens and picture what happens with your mouth and with your face muscles. So I'm going to go back to me. All right. Usually when that person is speaking in English, you can see that his or her mouth are moving in a certain way. For example, let's do it in Spanish. Hola, mi nombre es Miguel Andrés. You see? I mean, it feels very different. Sounds in English are different and sounds in Spanish are different. So, for example, in English we have more than 15 vowels. I don't know exactly the number, but there are so many different vowels. And in Spanish we only have a, e, I, o, u. You see, so that means that in English our mouth has to develop different muscles. It's like when you do workout. You see, when you do workout, you have to develop different muscles. That also happens in your mouth, all right, and also with your tongue. For example, this sound, we don't do it in Spanish unless you are in Spain. You see, so there are so many interesting things happening with our face, with our muscles, with our mouth, with our tongue, and also with our teeth that we can think about and also that we can explore so that we can know how to pronounce better. Let's just give it a chance. Let's reflect upon what is happening with my mouth, what is happening with my face muscles. So we are going to go back to our session. So that is the tip. Visualize and picture mouth and muscles. Tip number 6, start a comfortable pronunciation routine. So I'm going to ask a question. Why do you think it is necessary to have a routine or to practice pronunciation every single day? I'm going to go back to the chat to see. Okay, so can anybody answer the question? The question is, why do you think it is important to have a routine? No, Emily, I'm not reading anything. I'm just saying it myself. All right, Tefi, thank you for the answer. Because with this, we get used to the language. That is the idea. Patty, how do you pronounce come on? Come on, just like that. All right, so let's go back. Just like you said, starting a comfortable pronunciation routine, it is a good chance for you to develop your face muscles and also your mouth muscles. Why? Because constance and perseverance and daily work um, leads to better results. That means that if you do this at least 5 minutes a day, only 5 minutes, you will see something. You will see something in the future. It doesn't have to be like you kill yourself 5 hours every day. No, that is not the idea. The idea is that you do it often, but also that you enjoy it, and that you do it with and that you do it constantly, so that you can see better results in the future. So welcome to tip number 7. We encourage you to try the mirror technique. Sometimes some people feel shy, some people feel embarrassed, and that's not the idea. The idea is that you do it alone so that you feel safe, so that you feel confident, and the idea is that you realize what is happening with your mouth and with your muscles, right? What is happening with your tongue, with your teeth. You can also look, for example, Shawn Mendes or any favorite singer that you have. How does that person speak in English? What does he sound like? What is happening with his mouth? What does his mouth look like? That's the idea. That's the idea about the mirror technique. And you can see what is happening with your face so that you can know where and what to do to work that pronunciation in a better way. Tip number 8, relax. Make mistakes. Don't be afraid. This is an excellent tip. Nowadays, and especially at your age, it is very natural that you say like, I know teacher, but I don't know how to pronounce that, so I'm just going to stay silent. And that's not the idea. The idea is not to to stay still, to stay silent. Why? Because if you don't speak, you don't practice. And if you don't practice, you don't work on your English level. So that is the idea. Don't be afraid. You have a very, very lovely gift, and everybody has this lovely gift. If you release the mistakes, if you let them go, you will see how so many wonderful things come to your life. And this also happens in terms of English. So if you start doing, if you start being a little less afraid, you can how to say that? I mean, you can develop a better English level. All right, so please relax, make mistakes, don't feel embarrassed, don't feel shy, just don't be afraid. Everything is okay, you are safe and sound, and if you make mistakes, then you know what not to do next time. All right. Tip number 9, mental scenarios. Sometimes so many people have a very, very wonderful creativity. So they start imagining so many things every single day. What is the idea? That in your mind, you can imagine and create mental scenarios, because you have somebody in your mind and that person is speaking, and then you have a reply. So you see, it's like conversations going on in your mind. You might say, oh, but teacher, it's like you are crazy. Well, not crazy, just use your imagination to practice English in your mind. So create dialogues. Create dialogues and also talk to yourself in English. I do it myself. It's like, okay, what do I need to do today? Today I'm busy, but it is a wonderful day. A day full of miracles, full of wonderful things, full of so many lovely things coming to my life. You see, so I do it in English myself too. And it is wonderful. Trust me. Tip number 10. Find a language buddy or a language friend. What does that mean? Probably at your school there is somebody who probably has a better English level. So you can do that. I mean, you can find a language friend and you can say, hey, why don't you help me out with this word? Why don't you help me out with this sentence? Why don't we practice English a little bit? And if you have a good language buddy or a good language friend or a good language, yeah, a good language friend, then you can feel more and more comfortable, because that's the idea. There are so many people who are so confident and they speak English and they make a lot of mistakes, but it is so valuable because they learn, and that is the idea. That is the idea, that you are not afraid, that you find somebody with whom you can practice English spontaneously, naturally, and also in a friendly way. Tip number 11, pay attention to intonation. So this is like a focusing skill, right? Because you need to focus and to actually pay attention to the sounds of the language. So you can ask yourself, what does it sound like? For example, to me, what does my English sound like? What does this word sound like? For example, there are so many words in English that look like they have a stress in a different syllable. For example, in Spanish we say espontáneamente, but in English we say spontaneously. We don't say spontaneously. No, we say spontaneously. So that is the idea, to find the syllable that sounds a little harder. So just like this kid is doing, listen carefully, listen attentively, listen to each other. I think this is the last of our tips. So if you want to have a better pronunciation, enjoy learning lyrics. It is fun to sing along. So you can go to a karaoke, you can enjoy learning the lyrics of your favorite songs, probably, I don't know, Justin Bieber or Shawn Mendes, or I don't know any singers from I don't know, One Direction, you see. So you can go to a karaoke, you can ask your teacher to organize a karaoke at school, and that's the idea. When you enjoy learning lyrics, singing them, pronouncing them correctly, you learn the language. Alright, before talking about the next camp, I'm going to go to the chat and to see if there are questions. Are there any questions besides saying that I don't understand? All right, you just say it's a class in English. Thank you so much, Solepe. Very good, very good. Okay, so before ending this live streaming session, I would like to talk about the next camp that we are going to do on April 3rd. If you are in Bethlemite Schools in Pamplona, Armenia, Barranca Bermeja, Palmira, Medellin, that means Laureles, and Bogota, you are kindly invited to participate in the Bethlemite English Camp 2017 that is on April 3rd. We are going to spend a whole week in Santa Maria del Lago, which is a lovely house, and it is a Bethlemite house located in Fusagasugá, 2 hours away from Bogota. What is the cost? The cost is 500 pesos per person. So what are we going to do? These are some images or some memories of the first camp that we did last March 5th. It was a lovely week, full of learning, full of activities. We spent a lovely week in Fusagasugá, and we did a lot of activities in English. So you can see the pictures here. You can see that we had some time at the pool. We also went to church. We had some time to play, to practice our English, to do some spiritual moments, We had a campfire, and that was on Friday. That was the very last night of the camp. We had contests. We had different activities in English, like blindfold drawing. We had challenges. We had karaoke. It was a fun week. So here are some memories. If you are in Pamplona, in Barranca Bermeja, in Bogota, in Armenia, in Palmira, or in Medellin, in Laureles, and if you are in 8th, 9th, or 10th grade, you are kindly invited to this camp. All right, so we are going to have it next April 3rd. All right, so thank you so much for having spent some 45 minutes of your time with us. Please follow our fan page on Facebook so that you don't miss the live streaming sessions in English. It is called Bethlemitas, Proyecto Aprendizaje de Lenguas. And if you find us there and if you follow us, you are not going to miss our next live streaming sessions. You can also find us on Instagram at Bethlemite Schools. So please stay tuned, not only about our live streaming sessions on YouTube, but also about our activities from the project, because if time allows and if God wants it, we are going to be at your school. Leave a comment and also subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss any live streaming sessions, and also so that you can suggest a topic. Do you want a streaming session just like today, but about a different topic? Let us know in a comment. Let us know also on a post on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. Now you know where to find us. So please let us know the topics that you want us to go through on YouTube, on our next streaming sessions. This is the end of this session. Thank you so much. Remember about the camp, remember about the pronunciation tips, remember about our social networks, and I'm going to go back to myself. Alright, so it was a fun streaming session. Thanks to the 263 students who participated today in this streaming session. Please, next time, make sure that you participate in English, right? Evelyn Torres, please stop. No more speaking Spanish. Also, well, the other students that were speaking in Spanish, that's not the idea. Dayana Godoy is asking, when is next streaming session? So we don't know yet. Please, let us know the topic that you want us to talk about, and also follow our Facebook, our fan page on Facebook, and our Instagram account, so that you know the day and the time. Thank you, Nikki Quintanilla. Thank you so much for having tuned today. Thank you, Dayana. Bye-bye. Thank you so much to everyone in Ecuador and everyone in all over Latin America who made the efforts to tune us in today. Sorry about speaking only in English, but that is the idea. The idea is that we do everything in English so that you get used to the language. If you don't understand everything, it's okay. It's okay. You just go with the flow. Alessa, thank you so much. We hope that our tips were interesting, and so that you learn more and more. And please take them. I mean, put them into practice, because that is the idea. That you put the tips into practice, and that they are more helpful for you. All right. So thank you so much. Follow our accounts. Hope to see you in a future camp, and please let us know what topics you want us to talk about. Golden Chosen, I'm going to find you. All right. Bye-bye. Thank you.